Welcome to the Poli-Sci 260 News Report. My name is Abby Rose, and I'm here to introduce our topic, which asks the question, should the University of Oregon change its policy regarding which vendors are selected for the EMU? And we are also wondering if we allow more local restaurants inside the EMU, how that would change our community. According to Douglas Rushkoff in his book, Throwing Rocks at the Google Bus, he claims that our digital economy today has lost its human values. And he claims that this is because companies today are too focused on growth and seeking capital. And this is because they want to extract value, squash local peer-to-peer markets, expand their empire, and seek personhood. And so our goal for our question is to add human values back to the economy here in Eugene and also on our campus. And so the restaurants offered here in the EMU include a lot of chains, including Chipotle, Starbucks, Subway, and Panda Express. And this is a problem because there are actually 3 Starbucks and 2 Subway locations within a mile of campus. And so the fact that they're offered here on campus also shows that other things could be added here instead, including local coffee shops and sandwich places. And we would like to see these changes here in our community. So now we go to Gabby to give us the current policy and guidelines for which vendors are selected for the EMU.
Thanks, Abby. Now, when talking about policy, we tried to contact the director for EMU Food Services, but unfortunately they never responded. So we had to do some sleuthing of for ourselves. And you can go on the U of O website, and under Purchasing and Contracting Services, you can see how to become a vendor with the U of O. You can do the street fair, which is happening fall and spring, and you do that through contacting ASUO, and you are placed on a mailing list to receive an application. Another way is you can work outside of the U of O on 13th and Kincaid, and you would have to get a license there through the city of Eugene. And then lastly is when you want to work at the EMU food court, you would have to make a year-to-year contract with them, and that happens during the spring, and the EMU food director will admit the leases and consider each person. And you can also try to call the office, but when I tried to call, they never answered, unfortunately. And there's a link that you can try to click, but it led to nowhere. It was a broken link. So over to Katina for an interview.
Okay, so my first question is, during the ASUO street fair, how do you determine which food vendors are admitted?
We actually decide, we have like a list of vendors that have worked with us in the past. And so if those folks are still interested, we obviously reach out to them first. They get first priority. And then we kind of focus on local vendors.
How do you feel about the dining options in the EMU?
I think they're good. I think they provide variety, to say the least. I think in fast food wise, I really appreciate how we have local vendors. I think that's very, very important. And I wish that would expand a little bit and provide more advertising for those folks, since they are kind of at the lower level. You could say more in the back area, especially Bone Sky.
Yeah,
it's just at least basement. Yeah. So at least some more publicity would, I think, be really beneficial for those companies as well.
So if you have like any specific local vendors, which ones would you like to see in the EMU? Yeah, so
I don't know any. I'm from Portland, so I don't know the Eugene vendors that have kind of maybe grown in the last few years, maybe either a drink vendor or specializing in food or snack vendor. I do like how in our Fresh Market Cafe we do provide, I think, some local options.
Okay.
And obviously Red Wagon is from it, but I don't have any specifics in mind. That's something, though, with the EMU board that we'd have to maybe consider taking on next year if that's an option.
Do you think that students would be willing to pay more to support local businesses?
I'm not sure about that. To be honest, it's when a student sees a fee, and I know when I see a fee, it's like, okay, that's more money, no matter how, ethical it may be. Mm-hmm. And I know those options up like Chipotle or Subway are cheaper in some respects, don't get me wrong. Some are more expensive. Chipotle is pretty expensive. But yeah, I that's something that we'd also have to feel from the community. I actually meet with the EMU board today. This is quite timely. So I'm discussing with them about how the local vendors are doing this year, and kind of, do they see some improvement? Do they not? what are things that we can reevaluate.
Do you feel like you get more human interaction or a more personalized experience in a local business versus like a chain business?
I think it depends on who you hire. I mean, I feel, I don't know, I try to go to the local businesses more often, so maybe they know me more, but I think, yeah, it really depends on who they hire in that case. But yeah, you get more personalized. There's a story behind.
If enough students wanted it, do you think that ASUO would support bringing more local businesses on campus?
I think we would definitely support. I mean, if it's a student vibe, so it's like, okay, hey, we're really not seeing a lot of people visit Panda, or again, just using some names that are in the EMU, Chipotle, Subway, and if that kind of space is not being utilized to its fullest potential, there could be possibility. But I think that'd be a whole other contracting thing with finances with the EMU board, getting that sort of contract out with the Subway or whatever company that's already in there. So I think if students really wanted it, we can definitely push for it. But I think all we can do right now, if that's something students are interested in, maybe pushing local products to be put in like the Fresh Market Cafe or in the dining hall areas all around campus. But yeah, I guess it's a conversation we need to have.
Now we're going to Arthur for student interviews.
What do you think of the food choices in the EMU right now? Food choices in the EMU? I think they're pretty good. I haven't been to the little market there that much, but other than that, they're I feel like a little on the unhealthy side, but generally get a decent balance, I think.
Okay. Would you enjoy seeing more local restaurants at the EMU?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy Chipotle as much as the next guy, but it is nice sometimes you get to do more local rather than big chain.
Okay. Would you be willing to pay extra for food if that food was from a local restaurant?
I think so, yeah. I mean, probably not every meal, but definitely with some regularity.
If you were to see a local restaurant in the EMU, which one would you want to see?
I actually don't know a lot of local restaurants. I've been pretty busy this year, so I haven't explored Eugene that much, so I'm hoping to kind of do that more this summer. But,
Okay. How often do you eat at the EMU?
I eat at the EMU probably 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay. Do you use Campus Cash?
Yes.
Okay. How often do you use Campus Cash? All the time?
Probably most of the time. Occasionally I'll have a Chipotle gift card or something that would go through, but other than that, it's generally Campus Cash.
Okay. Thank you. What do you think of the food choices in the EMU?
I think they're pretty good. It'd be cool if they had more local choices or something like that.
Well, that answers my next question. Would you enjoy seeing more local restaurants at the EMU?
Yes, I definitely would.
Okay. Would you be willing to pay extra for food if that food was from a local restaurant?
Yeah, if it wasn't ridiculously expensive, I would.
What local restaurants would you like to see in the EMU?
Well, I like Killer Burger and Sizzle Pie, which those are Portland local too. Maybe Tracktown if they had a stand in there or something.
How often do you eat at the EMU?
Maybe once a month.
Once a month. Do you use Campus Cash?
Yeah.
If so, how often?
Basically whenever I eat there, which is once a month or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you enjoy seeing more local restaurants at the EMU?
Yeah, I think that'd be nice, and it'd help a lot of them out to get their name out there. So yeah.
Would you be willing to pay extra for food if that food was from a local restaurant?
Yeah, not too much more, but a little bit.
What local restaurants would you like to see at the EMU?
Is it Hot Mama's Wings? Is that what it's called? Probably like to see them.
How often do you eat at the EMU?
Maybe once every 2 weeks.
Do you use Campus Cash, and if so, how often?
That's the only place I use Campus Cash at the EMU, and that'd be once every 2 weeks.
Thank you.
The general consensus among students of the U of O is that they want more food localism in our food court. What do you guys think? Click here for more localism. Click here for nah.